If y'all clicked on this video, y'all know a little something about credit. Lego. How y'all doing? My name is Mimi if you're new, and today we are going to talk about credit. I'm going to go through the highs, the lows, what to do, what not to do, what people tell you to do that can actually make your credit worse. I'm just going to share everything that I know. Disclaimer, I'm not no credit expert, I'm definitely not no finance expert. I'm just a normal girl who's had to go out and like grab information from the world, internet, online and bank, and just everything that I've seen, I'm gonna put it all together, but I'm not no expert. I always say, even after you watch this video, do your own research, do your own research, do your own research, okay? Just a little tweaks and changes here can really change your credit score. Get your notebook, get your pen and get your paper, and let's get into the video. First thing is, what is a credit score? So a credit score is basically a number that you get after you've received a credit report. So a credit report is something that checks your spending habits, borrow to not borrow, how you spend, how you save, how you pay back people, how you don't pay back people. It's basically a system that creates a report. Once everything gets put onto a report, it gives you a credit score. Does that make sense? So a report equals credit score. Report equals credit score. Makes sense? So that is basically a credit score. A credit score comes from a report, and a report is from everything that you've ever done financially, basically. The next thing is how to check your credit score. I currently use this app called Xperia. A lot of people use this app. It looks like this one right here, and basically you just run, and this is currently my credit score. Your credit score is rated out of 999 points. That's basically like the total of the highest amount of points that you can obtain. My credit falls in the range of excellent. So I'm gonna tell you how I did that, because when I first started off, I was not at excellent. I've got cousins, friends that were all at like, friends was at very, very poor, and now her credit score is good, just about to touch excellent. So I'll basically tell you the techniques and tips that we use to get it up there. This is not sponsored, by the way. This is just an app that I use. I wish it was sponsored. Might help my credit a little bit more. But this is just an app that I use. It updates every month. So every month it will tell you whether you've gone down or you've gone up. As you can see, I've gone down by 8 points this month, which is because I made a mistake. I did something a little bit stupid, but I'll tell you guys about that as the video goes on. But yeah, so basically this app's really good. You can pay for the full extended version. I don't think I paid for the full one. I think this is just the standard one that comes and you get it for free. Yeah, so I hope that answers how to check your credit. Get that app and download it and check your credit score. How do you raise your credit score? So I guess I can only say what I did. I opened the app and I first saw my credit. My credit was on good. I'm not even gonna lie. My credit was already on good. So I was already in the green category. But my friend, good. He's on good, but almost going into excellent. This is what we did, innit? So obviously everybody has, get a credit card, get a credit card, get a credit card, and spend the money and then pay it back. No, do not do that. Do not do that. That can mess up your credit. Let me explain why. I'm trying to make it as basic as possible. But let's say you as a mom, or you as a sister, or you as a brother, you borrow your brother £100, and every month he spends the whole £100, but he still gives you back the £100. I'm looking at him thinking, rah, every month you spend £100. Like, do you actually need the whole £100? Does that make sense? The aim is to not spend the whole amount. The aim is to only spend a bit of what the bank are giving you, not everything. So when you get offered a credit card, so like for me, when me and my friend both took out our credit card, because my credit was on good, they offered me a credit card worth of £1,000. He got offered a credit card worth of £200. We were like, wow, what's going on? How come he only gets 200 and I get 1,000? The reason why is because my credit was good and his was bad. Now we were like, okay, cool. Every month I'm gonna spend £1,000, pay it back. He was like, I'm gonna spend my £200, pay it back. £200, pay it back. And then my credit still started going down. So I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, what's going on here? Am I not paying it back on time? Am I not? And I called the bank, and this is why sometimes these banks, yeah, they don't want you to win. They don't want you to win. Sometimes, because no one told me on the phone. Like when I called them, they were like, no, you're paying it back on time. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Obviously, it's not fine. My credit score is going down. What's going on? To the point where I just stopped using my credit card, because I was like, nah, let me just stop. Again, I can only speak from my experience. This might be different for everyone, but this is what happened to me. If you don't know this podcast called Jesus Angela and The Friend Zone, they have a finance episode, and they speak about how you're never supposed to spend the full amount that that is your limit. So if your limit is £1,000, you are never supposed to spend the whole £1,000. You're supposed to spend within 10 to 30%, and that is how you keep within the, yeah, she's a good spender, yeah, she's a good borrower and taker, because she doesn't even spend the whole amount of money, but she still has it, but she doesn't spend it. She's good because she's got the money, but she don't spend it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's the main thing I want people to understand. So we started doing 10%. Honestly speaking, that is what jumped up both of our credit scores. No joke, I was doing that. 6 months later, the bank called me and they were like, hey Mimi, we'd like to give you an additional £500. And I was like, I don't need it, sir. I don't need it. And they were like, no, you don't have to spend it. You can just continue doing what you're doing now, but we would like to increase the amount of money your credit card can go to. So they added another £500 and they added money on his one as well. So they started to see, okay, he's managing his money well, she's managing her money well, let's give her more. And in my head, I kind of feel like if you're not good at spending money, that's really dangerous, because it can make you be like, YOLO, let me just spend it. Do you know what I mean? That's why this system is messed up. Like, I just feel like I don't need the money, why are you giving it to me, kind of thing. It's like it's tempting me. You're like trying to tempt me to spend more. But I was like, I'm not playing those games. I still kept to my 10%. I was only spending £150 a month, and that's basically still what I do now. Whenever I go to London and I tap on the trains, I use my credit card to tap on the train. So basically my whole travel in a month is around about £150. So I just use it because it is, credit cards can be a blessing and a curse. Do you know what I mean? If you use it correctly, it will help you build your credit. My credit started jumping, and then I hit the excellent category and I just made sure I stayed there, period. My friend is in the good category and he's still getting his up now to excellent. Same with my cousin, they're in the excellent. Like, and especially if you know you're bad at spending money, then don't get a credit card. Like, don't do it to yourself. Do not do it. If you know, oh damn, I got £1,000 there, you know, I might just book a young trip to Miami. If you know you're like that, then do not get a credit card, because it's better to just have nothing than to have something and you're misusing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I can be okay with money. Like, it's a strength of mine. I don't know if it's a strength. It's because I'm typical. I like cheap things. I actually like cheap things. So I know I'm okay with not spending everything. But if you know you don't know about that, just don't do it to yourself. Just don't get the credit card. Yeah, I'm just saying my personal experience on what helps for me, and honestly I would recommend that. Don't spend the whole amount on your credit card. Only spend within 10 to 30%. I would just say 10%. Cut it at 10%, because it just means you're forced to live within your means. But another way to get up your credit score is making sure you are registered at your current address in the electoral voting system. I look so orange. Why do I look so orange? When I know what I want, I just look very orange. She look like an orange. Making sure your name and your current address is registered down on your electoral vote system. This seems stupid, like, and literally I heard it can increase your points by like 50 points. I don't know if that's true. That's literally what I saw on the internet. Do your own research. But if that is fact, then you lot should definitely get registered. What I mean by that is, you know, when you have to vote for like who you want to be in government and stuff, you have to register your name down. Basically the concept behind it is that they give you points because it proves that you're a good citizen who wants to be like involved in the community, involved in the voting system, involved in all this jib jabs. I just think it's a way for the government to track you. I just think they want to know where you are at all times, and they just know, like, that's honestly what I think. But hey, like, if you're not running from no one, then you might as well like get yourself registered. I think you can go to your local post office and literally ask them, and they can give you a form on how to register. My mum registers all of us every year anyway, so I've always been registered. To start, make sure you're registered, because it does help. Make sure you're registered every year, basically. Bills on time. That definitely helps. Pay your bills on time, of course, that's like standard. What can get your credit down? Well, what I just spoke about not spending everything on your credit card. Another thing that can get your credit down is credit searches. Credit searches are so annoying because you need them to do certain things, but they can also mess you up in the long run if you have bad credit, if things don't fall through. So basically, credit searches are when you want to borrow a loan, or even if you move into a house or an apartment or you're renting and they're like, oh, we need you to pay water bill or gas bill. The company decides to do a credit check on you. Even it can be take out contract. Like certain places will be like, oh, let me do a credit check to see whether you can take out this contract. Now, if they do that and it fails, that can actually take a hit on your credit. The thing is, you need to do it. Like when I moved into this apartment here, they have to do a credit check on me, and it's a thing where like you just have to do it. Like sometimes you get a bit scared because you're like, if they do this check and it goes bad, it can actually impact. Now don't worry if it does impact, because normally these things can clear within 6 months. Apparently that's what Google says. Google says it can clear within 6 months, or it can like start to like move down and not really matter on your report, on your actual credit report. So if it happens, I say try again in the next 6 months. So there's things called a hard search and a soft search. So a hard search, like you're asking to borrow a mortgage, they're gonna do a hard search. If a hard search hits bad, then that's peak. If you get a little 1-2 phone contract, especially if you've got a student account and you're trying to get like a phone contract, they're going to do a soft search. If the soft search goes wrong, apparently according to Google, it doesn't affect your credits. There's times where I've missed out my phone bill, especially in uni, like if I didn't have money 1 month, I just won't pay gym. Like those are like soft searches. It still looks bad, like you got to pay this government, you got to pay people, do you know what I mean? It still looks bad, but it doesn't actually have a huge impact on your credit. But hard searches is when you want to get a loan, you're trying to get a mortgage, that's gonna affect your credit, sis. So you better make sure those ones are like, you're only really doing it if you have to do it. Like, another thing that no one told me this was from my own personal experience. So obviously me and my boyfriend, we saved together and stuff. I never knew that if you join an account, your credit scores get intertwined. We put it out there for my sisters, my brothers who are in love and they want to do things together. You got to make sure you're really with the person that you're really down to ride with like forever. It did impact my credit score, but not by a lot, like not by a lot, literally by like a couple points. Yeah, so that's something to figure out, things that we've invested in stuff together, like financial stuff together and things together. So it just makes sense that we had a joint account, like, because that's who I'm trying to spend the rest of my life with, kind of thing, do you know what I mean? But all the young girls out there, listen, if your boyfriend asks you to join your account, I don't know, just think twice, like think, am I really gonna be with this person forever, kind of thing. Like, don't just rush it. It's actually a big decision, kind of thing. Why don't they teach us this in school? Why did no one teach me this in school? Instead I was learning A plus B equals X algebra square. Like, what the hell? No one taught me about credit in school, you know? I'm only telling you guys what worked for me, okay? So if you have any more inputs, any ways other people can raise their credit, any things that works for you, be sure to leave them down. Yeah, I said I'll tell you guys why mine dropped by 8%. Mine dropped by 8% because literally for the first time since I've had my credit card, I didn't pay it back on time. Like, I didn't pay it back on time. It was only £80, but my credit score went down. I was like, so it went down and I was like, damn, like it really do be going down if you don't pay it. I mean, I knew it, but I hadn't seen it. So now I've seen it. Like, it is really important to pay these things back on time. Yeah, so that's basically my information that I have to give on credit, how to build your credit. I do think it's really important, especially for my sisters out there. Let's get our own credit up. We have made mistakes, trust me. I've been with people who have taken their credit score from the worst to good, excellent. Like, I've seen it, so don't worry, like you can get it up. It's not even that deep. I recommend everyone to download the app, check your credit. If it's bad, cool, it's cool, it's cool. You can honestly change it. Like, make sure you pay things back. Like, literally just try your hardest to always keep on top of your bill. Yeah, man, it's time to boss up. I don't know why people don't want to tell us this information. If it's bad, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. You can always get it up. You can always get it up. Just make these little changes, live within your means, and yeah, you'll be cool. If you guys enjoy these kind of videos, let me know. You know what, send this video to at least 2 of your friends. I feel like Bianca and Chinwe were the first people to ever mention credit to me, about credit, and then my boyfriend downloaded this app for me and then I started checking it. But like, my friends were the one who first put me onto it. Like, be a friend that wants to help your other friend and send this video to one of your friends. Put your sis on, put your brother on. Be stuck in this like, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that because we messed up when we were young. Like, let's actually fix it now. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys on my next video.